Hello, this is Barbara again, and we are running the Free Market Roadshow here in Houston, and our host tonight will be Bill van der Pelt, and I'm grateful that he took the time. He is a very, very busy gentleman, an entrepreneur and businessman here, in not only here in the area, but he runs a lot of enterprises. He was also in construction. We will probably talk a little bit about that as well. But what he does is he provides strategic leadership to the Midcontinent Companies, and additionally he sits on board of directors of this enterprise. And Bill, what else do you do?
I just run our family business, the Midcontinent Companies, and its holding company and other affiliates. We have businesses in the real estate industry and the metal recycling business, as well as financial services.
Well, so the construction side and real estate side is these days a very interesting enterprise, isn't it? Challenging.
I think people are waiting with bated breath to see what's going to happen in certain segments of the commercial market in particular.
Yes, we are.
And it'll be interesting to see how that is managed over the coming months and year.
Well, I know that you manage your company well. But there are external effects and shocks that might also reach out to Houston and to the free state of Texas. Are you afraid of any of those, or are you kind of well prepared?
I'd like to think we're well prepared, and certainly the macroeconomic political environment has an effect on us, and certainly the global economy has an effect. So it'll be interesting to see how the capital markets handle things as mortgage portfolios reset.
Yep.
And the effects of work from home strategies have their impact on the commercial real estate market.
Yes, but you mentioned this, the work from home. It's also a question of productivity, and we've seen that at least in Europe. Does this lack of productivity, is this the case here in the US, especially here in Texas as well, or not?
I'd give you two answers to that. One, the superficial answer is I have a very strong opinion myself that people collaborate better in person. I've seen recent studies from a group out of England that has a global practice where they surveyed people in 2020 and surveyed them again this year on their productivity under work from home, work at the office, and hybrid strategies. And it was actually nuanced in that it depends on the task that you're doing. And the people generally, and this was not a Texas or a U.S. respondents, it was Europe, and primarily Europe and the U.S., and the overwhelming number of people said if they're working on a project that's individual, they're more productive at home because they're not distracted.
Yeah.
If they're working at the office in something that requires collaboration with others, working in the office is more productive. And from my standpoint, the takeaway was, as a manager, if you have a hybrid strategy, you should have, it requires more scheduling. So that when people are in the office, the agenda allows for collaboration, as opposed to somebody coming in thinking they're going to collaborate and then they're in their office saying, I could be doing the same thing from home.
Well, I fully see, and since you are also a member of the Young Presidents Organization, is there a difference in age with that attitude towards home office and or not?
I would be guessing if I were to try to characterize it, by age. Ironically, when COVID hit Houston, we did not shut down any of our businesses, and they were all deemed essential.
Okay.
But we gave the people in the office the latitude to make their own decisions based on their own sense of safety. And you would have thought that the older employees with health issues would have been the ones to work from home. And in our particular case, they were the ones that said, can we please work from the office and not work from home?
Well, after all, this is the free state of Texas, where people still have guns up and believe in individual choice.
Yes.
Okay, that's very good, and it's I think a very positive thing. This is probably also one thing why you like Austrian economics and why you support all initiatives with regards to economic freedom.
Certainly.
Good. Well, thank you for doing so. And on the side note, I mean, you and your wife have 4 kids.
Yes.
That's a big challenge as well, isn't it?
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. That's good. So at least we have young people that will probably share and follow your footsteps.
Well, all 4 of my kids have gone to Boston College, where I went to college, and all 4 have triple majored with finance, accounting, and then a third major of their choice. But 2 one's out of school and in investment banking. One's going to graduate and be in investment banking in 2 months, and the other 2 have a few more years, but are likely to follow that same path, and hopefully they'll all end up in our business at some point.
Compliments and congratulations. Well, we keep fingers crossed for that. And by the way, you're wearing an Adam Smith tie, aren't you?
I sure am.
And why do you wear an Adam Smith tie?
Well,
is it a statement?
You know, there's a few astute people that would recognize it, but it matches my suit.
Well, this is one thing, and it matches it very well. It looks very good on you, that's true. But I mean, Adam Smith is one of our heroes, isn't he?
Yeah, and certainly, I guess it is making a statement. And, you know, I do believe in free enterprise and capitalism and low regulation and entrepreneurial zeal and all those good things that are under assault today.
Yeah, well, exactly. And this brings me to a question where I have data here from, according to a Gallup poll conducted in 2022, 35% of the Americans considered free trade a threat to the economy. I mean, what would you make out of this? We're sitting here in Houston, harbors, trade, transport, oil.
Yeah, I can't comment on that poll. I'm not familiar with it and don't know whether there's any bias to it. But you know, certainly in our country, our system is predicated on an educated electorate, and maybe that 35% fall in the uneducated portion.
Well, let's hope for that, because after all, we need free trade.
Absolutely.
And I know this is what Smith actually had pointed out a couple of 200 years ago.
Yep.
And it's to the benefit of all, isn't it?
I believe so.
Well, thank you. And then there is another thing that there's a percentage of even higher Republicans and Democrats who believe that trade is nothing good. Does this probably come from the past?
You're saying the Republicans?
Yeah, that's kind of very surprising.
Bad poll.
Bad poll. Good. Okay, then let's immediately forget that, and we don't follow politics right now, because I think this is nothing good. But let me come back to your family enterprise, if I may. So, finance, banking, real estate. What have you made out of the recent developments in unconventional monetary policy? I mean, the last 20 years, when interest rates came down to zero, and all the tools that sound monetary policy was using before did not work. We have huge inflation, or we had huge inflation. QE
present tense.
Yeah. QE programs are still there. The balance sheets are out of control. If you advised the Fed, what would you do? What would you tell them?
Go back to the gold standard.
Oh, that's lovely.
But you started with a comment on interest rates. I think interest rates were artificially depressed for a long time to be able to try to stabilize the balance sheets of financial institutions. And, that's a political decision. And certainly with all the COVID stimulation, I think that just took the lid off of unbridled inflation.
Yeah.
But, ultimately for a period of time, one could rationalize that increases in productivity would offset some of the inflationary pressures in the earlier part. But I think in recent years, particularly with COVID. I think productivity, with shutdowns, there was by definition or mandate stymied productivity, and that plus free money has created a problem.
I mean, every Austrian economics textbook, or at least every sound economics textbook, writes, if you shut down, and if you shut down the supply chains, you destroy supply and demand, and this distorts prices. So this is a logic that we all knew, and then all of a sudden our politicians come up with alternative solutions.
I had purchased a car for my daughter in 2016 for her first car. When she graduated from college, I was going to sell it and get her a new car, which I did. And the car, when I purchased it, was $28,000, and I sold it for $22,000 6 years later.
Well, that tells us something.
And it was during the shortage in supply. Somehow I was in the database of the companies that were buying cars, and I just got an email saying that they would like to buy that vehicle for $13,000. And so you see a price correction where constricted supply kept it probably artificially high. Now the supply is back to normal, and the car depreciated 50% in 2 years after depreciating very little over 6 years.
Well, that brings us back to the question of unconventional monetary policy that definitely did not work and does not work, and it destroys our real economy.
Yep.
Well, let's take another shift in gears, because you're an outdoors man. So you obviously love nature. You hunt, as I have heard, as rumors tell me. You're out there, and you are a conservativist. You take care of our environment, correct?
That's correct.
So what advice would you give to people who think that green policies are very good, or will work and will stop climate change?
I think the free markets should be allowed to work, and I personally don't believe in man-made climate change. We're not that powerful, and I think that we have cycles over a long period of time. In the 70s, there were articles written about the coming ice age, and then
I remember that very well.
And it went to global warming, and all you have to do is spend some time at the ocean, or you can see the power of nature, and there's a certain amount of hubris to think that man is changing it. But that's my opinion, and I think it's politically motivated. I happen to be in the recycling business, recycling aluminum. Mm-hmm. So that's a small part that we're doing, and we have a lot of timberland and timber stands that are adding CO2 back into the environment. So.
Well, I think, what you mentioned, and I think this is spot on, let the market decide. And we believe in innovation and in creative solutions, and this is what you as an entrepreneur do constantly, 24/7.
Yeah, one of the businesses that I invested in 2 years ago makes battery-powered backup generators for houses. And there's no government help. Yep. And we're developing it. It'll be successful or not based on the soundness of the idea, and not based on subsidies. Although there are tax credits that are available to the people that buy them for using them.
But at least you don't take subsidies. You're self-responsible, and you take the risk as a real entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think this was a full-fledged story of how enterprises and how individuals who take the risk, who operate under those conditions that the markets provide, help economic growth and support economic growth, and make sure that people are being risen by the tide and not by the government.
I agree.
Well, thank you again. Thanks, Bill, for hosting us today and for being our partner at the Free Market Roadshow. And we are very much looking forward to welcoming you in Europe as well.
Well, and I appreciate you making the trip to Houston, and we welcome you and your fellow speakers here.
Thank you very much. This was Bill and Barbara in Houston.